Hello, hello. I'm on my main character for Dungeons and Dragons Online, and I am about to run the anniversary Halloween event called Night Revels. Hmm. Let's see here. I'm gonna farm myself a already got those. I think I'm gonna farm myself two longbows. One level 4 and one level 20. Hmm. Actually, maybe not. Probably just... Do I have the dunes here lit? Inventory, pets. I do have it, so no, I don't want that. Let's see here. I'll just run through everything once. Let's see, I've already done that one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just start and go all the way around. So, one of the things I like about this is they repurpose dungeons that you already have been through or know.
Long-dead adventurers have been resurrected and threaten to overtake the
To
pungent
accommodate for
scent of
this.
death fills your nostrils. Your eye is drawn to the mist gathering on the center of the abyss.
If any of you checked out my prior streams, I've been dabbling a little bit in other games that I actually play a little. This one I play by far the most. Earlier today I was playing Black Desert Online, which is a Korean MMO.
It must be harmless.
It's
Sure.
actually a really cool little game. But it's really, really graphically intensive. Like, it punishes your PC if it's not up to snuff. I'd actually tried streaming it a little bit earlier today again, and accidentally messed up my stream. So I had to get that fixed. I don't know if it was my mistake or if things just bugged out or what have you. But yeah, I really like these different games for different reasons. I like Elder Scrolls because it is a game that allows you to gain proficiency for gear that you use, you know, which makes more sense. I like DDO because overall you have more character customization, which is which is probably most true, you know. Like, it doesn't restrict because you're a fighter, you can't wear, or you can't use an orb, you know, or because you're a wizard, you can't use armor. It says you can do whatever you want almost. It's just you might get penalties and other stuff of that nature. And it has a more robust character choice customization than the other two games, in my opinion. It is a lot of fun though. I do have to say, you know, being the older of the three, it is definitely more fun for me. I think that the game could use a nice graphic overhaul, personally. You know, just redo things, maybe even revamp the game a little bit, because currently it's subpar in my opinion in a lot of areas. Like they've changed the gear a lot, you know, they've redone the equipment. They changed the way the enhancements worked. And then they've done a few other things. So I think that it would benefit from getting modified a bit, or if they took and rebuilt the game from the ground up. You know, maybe because I mean they have plenty of content, and there's a lot of stuff where if they were willing to or able to, well, they're able to, I think, but if they were willing to, this game could be so much better. I mean, imagine getting you know, these different quests and stuff, and instead of it being just like pure instance based, which has its pros and cons, but instead of it just being pure instance based, they could make so like unless you were entering a very specific area or whatever, a special area per se, like this cavern, but like everywhere else you're just sort of roaming around and stuff, you might get ported or whatever. But, you know, it would also open up so much stuff for them to be able to do. You know, it would, a revamp of the game and making it more open world and more, I don't know, what's the term? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think here. What would be a good example of it? World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls, or, you know, where everything's sort of open world to you. You can just sort of roam around and do what you want. You know, I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, adding in more stuff like what would be a good example? Trying to think here. Like life skills per se. Like if you wanted to fish or something, you can go to certain areas and it'd be great for fishing. Or if you wanted to, Uh,
The onslaught of the undead inside the temple has ended, but your
oh, there
gut
we go.
tells you that
That's all
this
done.
is far from the
I
last
don't
of
know,
them.
like,
There's a crack in the temple
there's
floor large enough to
there's
fit
so much
through.
potential this game
The
has
echoes of falling
that's
pebbles
not even
simulate an
touched.
enormous drop down to the cavern floor below. A
And
blast
I
of
just
frigid
wish they
air
would touch more
signals
of it,
that your descent must be nearing its end.
because this game is amazing. It has the history, it has the lineage. It just needs they just need to take and swing for the fences sometimes. You know, like they're missing weapons that we could have. Uh, I think revamping the game would allow them to, uh, you know, and they don't even have to do it all at once. They could be like, okay, hey, we're gonna test out this thing, kind of like hardcore or whatever. Only they start implementing really cool changes. I think that would be really nifty because this game this game could have so much more. I feel like another really good example is the combat system. This combat system is probably uh, overall the best of the three games that I played. I mean, it encourages you to move around a bit. It's not overly complicated per se. It's kind of easy, but I think it would be really cool if they made an option so that you could what do you call it? Change the way you play a little bit. Um, so like my skills and stuff. If they had an alternate input command for them, you know, not just oh hey I pressed a skill, but like let's say I'm entering a certain group of commands or whatever, and it'll trigger like you know kind of like a combo system, but not really. I think the game would benefit from that because we have so many abilities, and it comes down to you just really don't have enough space or whatever. I mean, some people will macro their abilities and stuff, and others probably can do more, being as they have a better understanding and stuff. But like, I just feel there's so much this game could do. Like, I think this combat right here should be considered like low level, not epic. I mean, I think that's a really good example. Even the combat's kind of blasé. It's really good because it encourages positioning and stuff, and you know you're able to do things, but it still feels kind of meh. I think it would be really awesome to see like slightly more interactive combat, getting rewarded for doing different things, you know. And even like if we take and just strip all that and we just look at the abilities, they missed an amazing opportunity with just looking at the pack here. I am a warlock. And my pact is the Abyss. Where is it? Which says I deal negative energy damage as part of my thing. And it does alright. I think that if they would have implemented it a little bit better, this would be amazing, because that negative energy damage that I'm just pulsing out should heal me. You know, maybe at a reduced rate or something, but it should heal me. And then it would supplement the fact that we get Death Aura, which is essentially the same thing. What is it? Uh, every 3 seconds I get it. You know, they could have put a time, they could have put a timer or whatever on it. I think that would have been amazing. And a lot of other people agree with that, and they were wondering why they kind of gimped it.
You have quite the penchant for packages. There may be more scattered throughout the cave.
I mean, for balance reasons is meh. You know, another thing that I find interesting is that they give us access to buff charmed creatures, but they don't give any, or they give access to buff uh, like hires and other stuff, pets, but they don't give you one. Part of it I understand, I'm not gonna lie, because another one that really, really wishes they had it would be the Ranger. But they have a pretty good reason that I can accept, and that is their AI, the computer-controlled AI, is trash. It's very buggy and inconsistent and unreliable. And until they can mess with that and get that fixed, I can understand why they don't want to take and add anything else, really. And I'm not gonna bash them for that. I mean, I'd rather have them get that fixed and do a good job than. But yeah, this, for all my complaints though, this game is still. I don't know any game where you can just choose whatever class you want, and if you know what you're doing and you're willing to put the effort into doing it, you can do just about anything with your class. It might require you making specific choices, but you can do it. One really great example would be me playing this character as a melee.
Smaller buildings are pushed aside. There's a massive
Is it the
skeleton
best I
guardian
can play this
rises
character
from
as? Not on my life. No, it is not. I can do a lot better. It could be, I can be a DC caster from what I gather from other players and stuff, what I've seen. I could be dealing more damage, especially if I chose the right pack. So there's other choices. But for me, what makes this game great is that I can choose. Like, I don't like playing squishy characters. I sometimes do, just for, a change of pace or whatever. But I really, really like playing great characters.
the magical variant.
Well, not great, beefy characters, tanky. I don't want to die. There's a, if I were had to be described as an anime character, it'd probably be Shield Hero or something. I just want to play defensive. You know, if I could get away with it, I probably would wield 2 shields. But all jokes aside, This game is by far one of the most amazing and complex games. Easily couple gazillion character builds. Well, maybe not a gazillion. I think the last count was someone said couple trillion different character builds. My character's slowly whittling away those choices though, because I'm getting all my past lives. That being said, they're still releasing races and enhancements, so there's a major change in that. So, yeah, speaking of missed opportunities, there's a... So my build is predicated on me being a elf, because if I wasn't an elf it wouldn't work. Because I needed Arcane Archer to modify my bow stuff. And I get it through racial enhancement points. So that's important for many, many reasons. One of which being
high jump.
My character won't be restricted
Double speed.
as much as others, but I think that like universal enhancement trees fit. They're one thing we should
The air gets warmer as you ascend the cavern. You must be nearing the surface.
that we really did need. We didn't realize we needed it, but we did. The other thing is though is that there should be you know, kind of generic, the more generic parts of certain classes, like maybe dwarves get stalwart defense. Oh, that's no good. Whew. Dwarves would really benefit from something like stalwart defense or something, you know, reflecting on how they're hardier. Elves get Arcane Archer, which is really suitable for them. It fits the idea. I wish that like other races other than elf got something besides Arcane Archer. You know, just something to open up some build possibility. But that is a pipe dream and a wish. And not relevant. So as you can see, I'm able to deal range damage should I want to. I just generally avoid it. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. So if you're wondering, my damage numbers are low. They should be... I should be seeing a lot higher damage numbers. But I won't. Archer. Oh, the mage is right there. Not able to hit it from this. What about... Now that works. There we are.
Invincibility.
That ain't very helpful. I need another high jump.
High jump.
That's what I wanted.
Life aura.
But yeah.
You
There we
reach
go.
the top of the cavern. A dark, foreboding feeling overcomes you as you realize that the source of your undead army must lie just beyond this door.
I had to go back down. So, down I go. Figure out where I forgot these packages at. This is a... There's one. I believe that should put in for this. Okay. And that side should be done.
Invisibility. Double speed. Hate magnet. Oh. Double speed.
Okay, got double speed.
Invincibility.
Invincibility again, we don't care.
Double speed.
I'll take double speed. Double speed's good.
Invincibility.
Well, that's kind of apt.
Double speed.
We'll take it again. Yes, sure.
Life aura.
Not gonna complain too much. Okay, so far I got every one of these. Yeah. Oh, one other thing. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the developers here sometimes have sick, twisted humor when it comes to these traps. I've seen some nasty traps. I mean, whew. But I think that's really good to have like different traps and interesting stuff to make it challenging.
Invincibility. Invisibility. High jump. High jump.
I mean, there's a few things in here that they do really well when they want to. They can put the fear of son of a monkey's uncle. Let's see, what's a really good example? The fear of being hit by a trap. They can put the fear of certain monsters in you. I mean, when they want to, they do a really good job. The devs here do. I also like the representation of dragons. For you know, for example, there's a quest that I can do where it literally has a dragon in it and stuff. The dragon will talk to you, but then you'll hear it'll be like, "Oh, it's gonna cast a spell,"
All of the mysterious
and
creatures of this
when it starts casting the spell, it starts talking in like a dragonic language or something, and it's stuff like that. I think would be really hilarious if they made a server where like, or one of their hardcore seasons, they take away anything except for like just like slight visual cues and audio. Like it'd be hilarious, you know. So you have to be looking and figuring out, you know. Uh, I do think that they don't use dragons to their full extent necessarily. I admit that wholeheartedly, because they have more than a couple, but they do have some really cool mechanics. One of the ones I like a lot, surprisingly, is the mechanic for fire on Thunder Peak. It has a mated pair of dragons,
Invincibility.
which seems like meh, whatever. Till you
High jump.
realize that these mated dragons get protection when they're close to each other. So they stop taking damage as if they're really close to each other. And that's like a really cool mechanic. Then they have a Draco Lich that without a doubt is
High jump.
really well done. Temple of Deathworm.
Hate magnet. Oh.
The dragon in there is pretty much nuts. Crazy mad.
The fetid smell and the cackle of a nearby night hag indicate
So.
that you have found the malevolent force responsible
Oh,
for
hey.
resurrecting the dead.
So yeah. Actually, you know what? Looking at the damage, every 2 seconds getting healed for about 300 is not that great. So assuming that they have the heal lamp going, I have only 197. So, let's say I got 200 heal lamp. That would be meh. You know, and considering the fact that you only get the Abyss pack after, or, you know, you only get the Abyss Shroud after level 15. You get it at level 15 to be exact. Like, that's not gonna, that wouldn't break the game too much. By that time you have Pale Master Wizards that have more healing. I do. So, this is actually kind of funny. If she attacks me with negative energy, I get healed. You know. Another thing I would be okay, I'm kind of sad at, is that they made the healing really homogenized. So, like, I can get healed by regular characters. To be honest, I don't think they really needed to do that as someone who played. I mean, it makes it easier in some ways. It's kind of nice sometimes, but overall, like, if I'm going to die, then it's most likely I'm going to die automatically. It doesn't even matter.
You have stopped the battle to raise an
There we
army
go.
and saved Zendrick yet again. You take a moment to rest after your long climb.
Did that.
The world is hard on the knees.
And jump up here. Jump up here. Another thing I really like about this game, though, is that they actually have fairly decent platforming mechanics. Sometimes it makes you mad, especially if your Mario game is subpar. But, like, it's part of the game, and I like it a lot. I think it'd be really cool if they were able to implement climbing mechanics also. Like, just throwing that little extra bone out there for people. So,
Those have been told of strange disturbances inside Lord's March Palace. You enter the darkened building to investigate.
So let's see here. As you can see, there's definite pros and cons to these different things. I'm liking the proc rate of this confusion. That's kind of nice. That little pinkish purple swirly thing is confusion. And I like it. I likes it a lot. There's where I'm after. Bada bing, bada boom. What am I doing? I'm a moron. There we go. Fast travel, always the best. I do kind of wish sometimes that they would update their control scheme stuff, because I do find it a bit tedious to try and attempt to use a game controller. I mean, you can, but it's not nearly as effective as it should be. Like, Black Desert and the other one, Elder Scrolls Online have a really good controller integration, so it feels good. But DDO, they're like, yeah, nah, you don't need that, and it makes me sad. I wish it did have a good controller scheme, because it would make some classes like the monk, it'd make it more reasonable in some ways to want to play it as it's intended. Because, you're just doing like da da da, and then have like modifiers or something. I think it'd be really cool. Because they have like different combos and stuff that you can trigger. But you have to have them on your hotbar if you want to use them effectively, or you have to like manually click them like this. And the only time you want to be manually clicking is for like rare abilities that you generally don't need to use. Otherwise, it should be really easy within your reach. And for me, like the first 5 numbers is really within my reach. Other than that, I don't really feel like doing it. I guess I could set modifier keys and stuff if I really want to, but even still, like if I'm on a gamepad or something, that's not really that feasible. I also think that it's kind of sad that, like lower level magics that you might use a lot kind of fall off after a while. That's kind of counterintuitive. Like, if you use a spell a lot, you shouldn't just be like, oh, I have to use, after I learn this spell, I'm never going to use the spell again practically. It should be more like, the spell that you already knew. Let's say, what would be a good one? Flaming Hands. You're not gonna like use Flaming Hands after a while. You're like, nah, it's not worth it. Where it should be like more incentivized to use it. But the rotation is not worth it. So you just sort of like, yeah, nah, I'm never gonna use that again, pretty much. When I play actual casters, this is technically a caster, but it's not really. It's more of a hybrid. I like using the spell-like abilities that I can get access to, and I'll put those on my hotbar because they have really low cooldowns. You can beef them up really nicely. So they do alright damage. I mean, I'm not dealing max damage by anyone's standards, but it's dealing enough damage that I don't feel like I'm completely worthless. And it lets me conserve my spell points for other stuff or important abilities. Because to me it doesn't make sense that I would use Meteor Swarm on a creature that's just about dead. That's overkill. But that's what a lot of people do currently. When you watch casters and stuff going around, they're just like casting all their high level stuff, and it's just it doesn't make sense from a lot of standpoints. It should be, I like using Meteor Swarm as a hello, well, nice to meet you kind of deal. I mean, it's not really a hello, nice to meet you. It's more like not very nice, but I really do. I like using it to like open up the greeting, and then I do, you know, I try not to use it too much after that. Uh, so another really nice trivial thing is that they have a lot of inside jokes with, depending on if it's the quest name, like Smashing Pumpkins, which is a band, or the joke with bacon and broccoli. Like, real quick, I'll show you. No, bacon, broccoli, and ham. Uh, so they gave an animation to be looking for broccoli and ham, which is kind of funny. Hey, Weird Foundry. Now,
There have been rumors of strange things stirring within the now
this is actually
abandoned
kind of
Haywire
amusing because they
Foundry.
reverse engineered
All
the
seems
quest for
quiet
this.
here now.
You're going the back way. Which is really amusing in my opinion. So instead of going through the quest the way you'd done this before, because this is Haywire's Foundry, hence the Hey Weird Foundry. They're showing it. They're showing that this is after you've gone through and trash it for your when you're doing Vault and Night stuff. And this is kind of like what's going on after. But it's kind of funny because they're known in a way that makes kind of sense. You're looking at the quest from a different perspective. Now, I don't have to kill all these skeletons if I don't want to. If I was speedrunning this, I'd just take an invis, pop the thing, invis again, run through, invis, like, just, that's all I would be doing. But I'm going through slower. Like, So recently on the forums, I was reading a really funny thing. People were complaining about a path in the raid Temple of Deathworm. Temple of Deathworm gives you, I think, at 2 points, choices on which direction you want to go. You can go left or right. And when you go left, it's one path and right another. So what makes it really funny is that one of the deals requires you to have some really good Mario skills. We're talking, well, not really good, I mean, but it makes it easier if you're able to jump and stuff. And they were saying that, oh, it's not right that you can, you have to get carried through the whole section because they can't make the jump. And then the devs came through and they're like, actually, you're not required to go that path. So that particular point of it's moot. And then the second part is that you can make it through the whole thing with like a really, really low jump.
A dusty puzzle wheel sits
I'm talking like single digit, I think maybe even negative, something like that. So, and you can get a potion that'll give you plus 20 jump. So unless there's something weird going on or whatever, there's no reason why you can't make the very minimum of the jump. So all that being said, it was just a really funny thread to read. You know, which also leads to another section that I'd like to point out, and that is, it's really sad that developers take so much verbal abuse because they do stuff that may not be particularly great for one group of people, and then those people will just like pile on, and it's a really bad mentality. You know, I prefer not to be as aggressive per se. You know, over the 6 years, I've only made like 100 and some odd posts. But of late, I've been making more posts because, you know, what I'm seeing is reflected in reality, and if I'm seeing it in, you know, reality, I have to take and say something. And that is, people are just doing things, you know, that suits them, and they're saying that because it's their opinion that it's right, which it isn't. Like, as I said before, I play beefy melee characters, you know. If you look back a little bit further on my channel, you'll see melee wizard, and you'll see a lot of other stuff. I generally play the same kind of builds, whether I'm a paladin, a fighter, a sorcerer, a wizard, an alchemist. The only exceptions are at the moment ranger, rogue, and what's the other one? Monk. Like, you can't use most of the monk's capabilities if you have anything other than light armor and cloth armor. You can't even wear light armor. You have to be in your pajamas, pretty much. So it's kind of sad because I think it'd be kind of cool to do some other stuff, but yeah, at the same time, it's like it is a restriction. you know. So even still, even with that restriction, I'll try and build my character to be as beefy as possible. Just to be like that one guy. You know, so I'll be instead of building for dodge or whatever, dodge will be like third on my list. First two being hit points and PRR. Well, I guess it's fourth because armor class is also up there. So like I'll build for getting higher armor class and PRR and stuff. But that's just the way I prefer to play. So, is it the best way to play said class? Depends on your perspective. Am I going into Reaper 10 quests being awesome? No. Am I surviving better than some of my friends that focus on pure DPS? Yes. But the reality is, it's okay. Who cares? At the end of the day, as long as you're having fun with the game, you know. And for me, fun in the game includes doing stuff differently per se.
A spectral form materializes nearby. A chill of fright runs down your spine as it approaches.
darkness of Maybar has transformed this place into a corrupt shadow of what it once was.
I was just getting comfortable.
The way ahead is blocked. A door opens nearby. You unlock the door. You spot something in the shadows.
You don't want to do something a wise choice. Something about this area seems strange.
Now I count the hours until I am allowed to hunt again.
welcome, welcome. I'm just going through goofing around in Night Revels.
Let us hunt. It's the only pleasure I have left.
There he is.
You spot shapes up ahead. Evil creatures that have been called forth by the endless night.
And right. What? No, I moved too far. No, I'm not. Not quite far enough. There we go. You know, one thing I do have to admit, I do kind of like the fact that this DDO chooses to, instead of reward you based on killing a monster, it rewards you based on completing the quest. And I actually think that's kind of a good thing. Because it incentivizes people to like actually explore the things and learn how to play the game as they intended it. Other games you can level up solely just by beating on monsters or whatever.
Now I count the hours until I am allowed to hunt again.
You savor this small victory over the forces of darkness.
Sorry, it wasn't my fault. I had no choice.
What kind of hoard hides within this little chest?
Alright, smashing pumpkins. Grave work. This one's actually kind of amusing as a quest.
An unnatural darkness has
Both the
descended
original
on
and
this
the other.
land, and a restless wind groans through the trees. A necromancer has made his home somewhere in these desolate woods. You'll need to find him before you can
So,
face the
something
Minotaur.
funny about this is that this quest name in regular server or regular stuff is called Framework. And your whole objective is to make it look like Medusa
You found the
and or
necromancer, but the spellcaster is
her
under attack
army
by a group of scarecrows.
came through and wiped out the uh, village full of minotaurs. So you're supposed to turn one of them to stone with a special wand, and then you do the rest of the stuff. And then you go through and kill like all of the rest. What makes it interesting is you're going through and you're killing. It says kill X amount of minotaurs, and then it's like, okay, kill more. Don't stop killing. And they're just like kind of making a joke about things. I mean, from a certain perspective, it's wrong, but same time, you know, you gotta appreciate the little things in life, right? Alright, so I'm just skipping half these battles because it'll take me too long to do what I want to do. So instead, coming over here, yes. For a rare.
A gnarled mass of pumpkins and vines rises from the swamp. The supreme prophet and his minions sink into the swampy pumpkin patch.
You know. These creatures right here are slightly annoying. But I do have to admit, it's better than like some dogs or wolves or, you know, something really generic. And it fits the area that we're in and everything. Let's see here. Alright. So FOD is finger death. Essentially, he got fingered by a Doomseer, which is a variant of Beholder. And they don't have fingers. It is amusing though. Alright, where is what I'm looking for? So, around here, there should be a ballista. Because if you're gonna try and sneak into somewhere, Yeah, mine as well. And actually, I'm probably I'm closer to the front gate. I'll just go to the front gate. I wanted to do the ballista just because it was cool. Always cool to do the ballista. Oh well.
The village's main gate is blocked by some overgrown shrubbery and a horde of guards.
Oh yeah, they can get past that. And there we go.
Minotaur skeletons patrol the cursed town, hungry for revenge.
Slay some skeletons. Whew. Look at this party. Just what we want to see. The more of them that gather, the easier it is for me. This character is built on AoE. Kill some more skeletons, yes sir. In case you're wondering what that skull is my legendary Slay Living. Because my character has garbage for melee. And I'm being very generous with that. Da-da.
Don't stop killing Minotaur skeletons now.
There we go. There's that little DDO wisecracking humor. Da. There it is. Let us try. Hey, we got a couple. Anyhow. Da. Only killed 39 skeletons. That's kind of sad. Must kill more. Alright. They don't want to spawn for me, so I'm not going to waste my time. I'll be able to get the 40th one at least.
You found the chieftain's final resting place. You remove the necromancer's talisman from your pack and hold it out toward the gate. Before you know it, a portal appears. The Matador chieftain glares down at you as he steps through the portal. How brave of you coming to face me. But when I kill you, you'll regret making the trip. There are still more Minotaur skeletons to slay.
Yeah. I think the objective is to slay like 100 Minotaur skeletons or something like that to get all the other stuff. I don't remember. After I 5-starred, I just don't care. It's right there. And done.
Chieftain's bones clatter to the ground. This time, you vanquished him once and for all. Or so you hope.
And now we'll just cheese our way out of it. Alright, where are we at? I did that. Did that. Did that. Yes. The witch and the snitch. Or the snitch and the witch.
The distant sounds of panicked voices and scattered fighting echo from the walls. The moonlight reveals a path amongst the rooftops.
Shame on me. Oh, that's transmutation. That's why it's not working for that. That explains some of it. I'll have to look at my gear. Oh, there's a sickle that I was gonna carry. I don't have it on me.
The sound of fleeing townsfolk rises from below. The door begins to strain as a creature thrashes against it.
Now I count the hours until I am allowed to hunt again.
There we go. guess it's not really that much more damage. You know, will we?
A wise choice.
Oh. There we go. Look at them numbers. Aren't those pretty?
The mummy collapses into a pile of scattered bandages and fetid dust.
It's nice having the right weapon for the job. So the weapon I'm using is called Shadow Blade, and it scales with character level. So it starts out with like only part of these effects, and then as you level up, it upgrades itself inherently. It's really nice though because it is a item that deals force damage instead of regular damage.
The door opens.
So
In the distance, you can see
it
a knight
bypasses damage
who
reductions.
seems to control the next gate.
And as you're seeing, I'm dealing some pretty solid numbers from it. Not as great as they could be, but it is nice. And I really like it.
The gate
I like
opens,
convenience.
revealing a courtyard and a ladder. Dark creatures
And it
begin
most
to
definitely
appear
is
from the
convenient because
shadows.
I don't have to take and have a weapon if at need be at level. I can just carry this short blade and it's all good.
The ladder slides into place, allowing access to the rooftops above.
So the only thing this does not work on is stuff like
The zombie in
iron
the
golems and stuff,
courtyard looks strangely
which is
familiar.
sad because
The undead corpse
there are times where you
of
just
Roderick
need it to work.
shifts to look towards you and groans.
No believing death can stop me. He'd stand and face me. Me and my new master.
Roderick Nettle's undead form slumps to the ground.
Mercy.
He gasps. The shield
So in case you're wondering, how am I not being affected hardly at all by this? Part of it's my build and part of it's my racial traits. I guess it comes down to build at the end of the day. I am under the effect of Channel the Abyss, which makes me undead for the purpose of a lot of things. So when you try and finger a death and undead thing, it doesn't work. We're already dead. And while I'm technically not undead,
falls in defeat, and the feeling of dread that surrounded the Lich fades.
the game really doesn't know that. Well, the game does, but it is like I'm wearing a shroud and it gives me the attributes and traits. Kind of like wearing a suit of armor or something. Anyhow, yeah. There's that. That's Snitch and the Lich. Kobold's newest ringleader. Go for it.
An overwhelming stench assails you as you begin to explore the hideout.
Yeah, I got a couple. I guess one actually. So this leads right back to the beginning. So I could have skipped like half of that stuff if I wanted to. But I opted to do it because, you know.
The door is locked tight and can only be opened when the runes are lit. Look for two mechanisms that will unlock the door when activated. The rune begins to glow. It looks very similar to a rune found on the locked door in the central corridor.
Yo-Yo Titan, what's up, man? Hello? Audio. Rig. 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 Yo-Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, That's probably a smart choice. I mean, you pick up extra strength and you pick up a little bit more survivability, which is really important. You lose a little bit of melee power though, which is sad. You know, if you're using a shield, may I recommend just maybe dropping Stalwart and going for Vanguard and getting the increased attack rate?
Guttural groans of shuffling undead can be heard.
I mean, I guess it all depends on what you're doing and stuff, so I don't know. I can't tell you. Oh, you got healed for a nice little chunk there, though.
The door shatters as several creatures shamble. Malkiric the Lich bids his creations to attack. As Malkiric crumbles to dust, a feeling
Nice.
of calm settles throughout the room.
What's the D door? You got me a little confused here.
As you enter the tavern, you notice the smell of rot in the air.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know Warlocks got that. I'll have to look into maybe taking it. My spots are pretty tight though for my spells.
Gruesome shapes begin to fall from the ceiling above.
Da, 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 da.
Pounding can be heard from down below.
Real?
The mummy and its servants drop from the roof. The creature hisses.
Wait for me to kill the orange name. Unless the orange name's up with you. It's down here with me. You need to kill this guy first.
The shriveled corpse
Kill this guy first.
with the mummy gone, Maxwell's spawn has been slain.
There we are. Thank you. finish.
hides within this little chest.
Alright. Well, I think I'm going to call it an end for this particular stream. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good day.